everyone, we are just sat on Meta Pier and I'm just sat down with Cohan, and I just wanted to jump on here really and just film a bit of a segment chatting about AI and digital experiences in the marketing space. And I think sometimes you're so far in the weeds, and with the talks about AI, we look very much at our workspaces, how it's going to affect how we deliver our work, how it affects our clients. Do we really get into what's possible from a creative perspective with AI and really tap into that? Now, Cohan already does a lot of work in this space, and earlier this week we did a really cool 5-minute concept design experience with Saudi, where they gave us a brief and asked us to create a concept, and I did a very kind of human element of one video, but Cohan sat down and created something quite incredible, and he was thinking about AI, he was thinking about Web3, and it really kind of blew my mind. So I just wanted to pass over to Cohan to really talk about what's possible from an AI perspective in marketing and those digital experiences, which he can explain far better than me. So Cohan, I'm going to hand over to you if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I think initially it's moving away from some of the jargon and the acronyms and just thinking about what's possible with your imagination. I think always go back to that old school sales interview tactic where it says, if I gave you a blank piece of paper, what would you do with it? And that's also what we could do with AI, right? We can create anything. It might have different levels of definition and standardization. It might not always be ethical, and you have to be conscious of that, but it can do anything. So rather than thinking about just prompts or long language processing or LLMs, or even around being predictive and prescriptive and always about, I think we get stuck in a box of what's possible. But I think with what we're trying to do is we're trying to use imagination and beauty and things we do naturally and transform that into transformative APIs using things like WebGL, which then converts 2D and 3D images, etc., and really take virtual reality to another level that we've never seen before. What I spoke to the Saudi team about yesterday was a really cool concept where we have sensors inside of mannequins. Now, these sensors are directional, and they look at specific areas of where you're looking at. So you can imagine how far we could go with this when you have a mannequin positioned anywhere, and depending on where you look is where you get your data from. So it could be something specific like a hat. It could be something specific as a logo or multiple logos. It could be a poll, or it could be even, imagine if there was a startup hub and you wanted to create your brand in specific colors, but you wanted to know what your consumers liked subconsciously is the best color. Imagine having a mannequin with multiple colors on and then tracking where people look the most. Then you would know, based on 1 day, 1 week, 1 month of data, what colours are the preference in that geography, in that place, with that language. And that's just a really basic example. I think, using sensors to look at AI, or even when you think about fashion and the complexities of social media and how we see ourselves, and there's a lot of, I think, challenges with young and older people about self-image. Imagine if you could try on an outfit at home or in a shop without actually having to get unchanged, by pushing a button and changing the outfit. And then imagine changing the background, so you could choose a night background, or office background, a family background, and see what you look like in that outfit.
Yeah.
So, we need to move away from paper and pen, move away from static 2D mono images and text, and really use AI, I think, in a way that really transforms what we're doing, and use things that are beautiful, use things that are creative, not just that standardization that we keep seeing. I think that will really change the game.
Yeah. I think it's really about how you're engaging with your audience effectively. So it's not just that, running social media campaigns that catch people's attention. It's that one stage further that's actually getting that interaction. And I know there you spoke about Mannequin, which is a really interesting perspective. But when I think about our clients in the B2B space or consulting in technology, it doesn't have to be a mannequin, does it? You could almost have a board set up and you could put like sort of the pain points that clients are seeing, have that at an event, you can have it there, see where people are gravitating to and looking at, and then you can really collect your data to say, okay, so when senior stakeholders walked over to our stand, they immediately stared at this particular pain point, and then that way you can collect the data and make sure the experience for them following on from the event is focused on that area.
Exactly. It's taking away the guessing. I always used to say back in the day in my sales career that don't ask your sales reps, ask your data.
Yeah.
Data can't lie. Yes, you can manipulate data, but with enough data you can really make informed decisions, and that could be big decisions around your go-to-market, your strategy, how you align and partner, could be based on these really cool actual real data concepts of reality of what your consumers or your prospects or customers actually need and want, rather than throwing stuff at the wall, throwing mud at the wall until it sticks.
Yeah.
Right, you've heard that before?
I've heard you say
Let's
that before.
actually do what they require, what they need, what challenges they have, what pain points they have. Let's do something to fix those challenges and pain points.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing with AI, is we're creating solutions to fix these challenges, to fix these gaps, but doing it in a way that really takes people's breath away with what's possible.
By really understanding the customer.
Yeah, you have to be customer centric, customer obsessed. Without your customer, you don't have a business, you're not going to grow, and you can't align.
Yeah.
I think, we're always saying that, sales is the new swear word, right? It used to be customer success, it used to be finance, it was like sales block, and now we can't even say the word. But unfortunately, without selling in some concept or way, then you're not going to grow. When someone gives your company a testimonial or a case study, and through word of mouth you're growing, that word of mouth is a form of sales. Someone's selling on your behalf, but it's still selling.